So you don't just buy ingredients because they're cheap or they have been advertised well or they've been marketed or they're trendy. No. Check, read documents about the ingredients, research about the ingredients. That is what I'll also advise. So I have my list here. I'll be referring to my list of everything that I have, everything that I look out for when I buy ingredients. So probably you'll do the same. Welcome back to Camray Formulation Academy. Today we are going to look at choosing of ingredients, what to look out for when you're choosing your ingredients, and we are simply going for shopping. As simple as that. We are going for shopping. So what happens when you want to start making your own skincare products and you don't know where to start? Like, that is what I said in the last video. Haujui pa kuanzia, you don't know what to buy. You are truly interested, but Betty, what should I buy? Where should I start? Then this is the video for you. So for those who don't know me, my name is Betty Mora, founder of Camray Naturals and the lead formulator for Camray Naturals and so many other brands. I've been formulating skincare and hair care products since 2019, and I want to save you from making one of the terrible mistakes that most beginners make, is buy a lot of ingredients that you will not even need. So this video just breaks down on how to choose your ingredients, what you need, what you don't need, and how to basically get started. So let's start shopping. First of all, remember, you're keeping it simple. Keep it simple all the time. Keep it simple. In this video today, you're not going to make anything. You're not going to make creams. You're not going to make serum. We're not leaning our ingredients towards one product. We are simply just buying generally what we need in the ingredients. So I have my list here. I'll be referring to my list of everything that I have, everything that I look out for when I buy ingredients. So probably you'll do the same. Put down your list, or we shall share also a PDF. If you truly want a PDF, just write in the comments, or just share to make it easy for most of the beginners. So this is what you look out for when you buy ingredients. The first tip that I'll probably share, out of my viewers, like most of my clients, they follow Camray Naturals because they want organic ingredients. So when we say organic ingredients, I know organic has been overused. I know natural has been misunderstood. So most people tend to think natural is organic or eco-certified. Those are actually very different categories, and you have to be certified for all those categories. So if you are just an organic person or an eco-certified person, or if you prefer to use all vegan ingredients, so I'll be mentioning whatever is vegan, whatever is eco-certified, whatever is natural. However, I'll also mention whatever is synthetic. I want to be as honest as possible because there are benefits to all these ingredients. There is benefits of using synthetic ingredients and organic ingredients. And why people go in the lab to innovate ingredients. So there is benefits to everything. So I'll just be as honest as possible so that if someone truly wants a functioning ingredients without caring whether it's vegan, eco-certified, or organic, they can still go out there and buy it. Or if someone just wants to keep it vegan, I'll also share that with you, how to get it. So the first things first. When you're choosing your ingredients, there are things that you need to consider. The first thing is the functionality of the ingredients. What do I mean? So that is, what does this ingredient bring to the table? Ni kama umuhimu, basically. So you don't just buy ingredients because they're cheap or they have been advertised well or they've been marketed or they're trendy. No. Ask yourself, like, do a lot of research on that ingredient. Ingredient nikinunua leo, like, when I put my money on this, what benefits am I getting? That should be your core business. Not benefits in terms of what's marketed. Like, don't go to a page and then see, like, this removes acne, no. Check. Read documents about the ingredients, research about the ingredients. That is what I'll also advise. So first things first, the type of ingredients that you need. Number one, you need foundation ingredients. What are foundation ingredients? Foundation ingredients are ingredients that are going to make 60 to 80% of your products. So kama product yako, let's say ni oil, ni butter, ni cream, kenye ni the bigger chunk like whatever, how do I put it? When you see a cream, even if it's advertised for acne, for brightening, for anti-aging, there is that bigger base. Ni kama foundation, nika foundation ya nyumba. Like what carries the weight of that product? That's called the foundation ingredients. So foundation ingredients, they make 60 to 80. 60 to 80% of that foundation is usually oils, butters, waxes, and the water. So when it comes to oils, we have two categories. We have the primary oil and the secondary oil. We shall dig deep when we talk about formulating for oils. So however, just know the primary oils at this point, these are oils that are easily available. So let's say, for instance, let me give an example. You can easily access sunflower oil. Like hii ni mafuta kila mtu anaweza pata, as long as you're in Africa or even abroad, they import, like anywhere you are, you can access sunflower oil, and it's very cheap. And olive oil, that is a carrier oil. It's like also a primary carrier oil. These are just the oils that carry the entire formula. These are very affordable oils. Then we have sweet almonds, we have grapeseed. These are easily available oils. Now the thing is, as much as it's a carrier oil, you should also check the functionality, like the feel of that particular oil. And then at the end of the day, you should check the availability. So if you're in Africa, one thing that I'll advise you, try as much as possible to use the locally available oil and butter that's in your country. I understand you are limited in resources, so, but let's say in Kenya, if you're in Kenya, like I come from Kenya, if you're in Kenya, you can easily get sunflower oil, you can easily get grapeseed oil. However, if you need something like shea butter, you need to import from Uganda. So I feel that it's easy for you to get shea butter from Uganda other than going all the way from abroad to get something like mango butter, because in Africa, we don't easily process these exotic butters. So those are the things you should put into consideration. Then under foundation also we have waxes. Under the wax category, we have the common wax that everyone uses, beeswax. So get bees farmers, make friendship with them. You'll find a lot of beeswax. Beeswax is everywhere. So get it directly from farmers, and there are people who have processed them, so you can get them easily. Then we have distilled water. So whenever you see an ingredient on your labels, it's written aqua. Aqua, that's distilled water. And one thing that most people don't know is how to read the ingredients. So if you're interested in me making a video and showing you how to read your ingredients, because it's very important when you're buying ingredients, just let me know. Then aqua, that is one thing. Then apart from water, there are people who use hydrosols. Hydrosols, they're basically an added advantage to water. So hydrosols, they make up the big chunk of products. That is we have the chamomile hydrosol, frankincense, so many hydrosols. And the good thing is nowadays local manufacturers make them. We have so many farmers who farm herbs nowadays, so they can easily get hydrosols for you. Then another thing you'll have is, apart from carrier oils, apart from the foundation ingredients that you have, the second ingredient that you need, basically, functional ingredients. So after you have gotten your big foundation, you need the functioning of the product. So what does the product do? Is it an anti-aging? Is it a brightening? Is it an acne clear? What does it do basically? Is it an exfoliation? So this is where you get your functional ingredients. So functional ingredients are basically anywhere less than 40% of the total of the product itself. So if you need if it's for exfoliation, technically, what you simply need, you need sugars, you need salts. That is where we have the Himalayan salts, Dead Sea salts. You need clays. That is where you have the kaolin, the bentonites. You need pumice for rubbing if you want the physical exfoliation. You also need jojoba seeds, which are very good for exfoliation. Then, apart from exfoliation, you need humectants. So that is the second functionality. Humectants, these are basically what traps moisture in your skin. You need glycerin. If you're using honey, you need it. Then you need emulsifiers. Emulsifiers is what binds the water phase and the cold phase and the oil phase. So you need something to bind the two. So when it comes to emulsifiers, you can go simple. You can start with ewax. You can start with acetyl. You can start with the acetyl. So before you, let's say I'm using an example of Kenya. You are in Kenya. So some of the emulsifiers that we use, because we are commercial also, we import them. Not because we can't use what's locally available. It's because when you do commercial formulation, it's different from your own use of formulation. Because sometimes you might want your client to have that luxurious feeling, whereby it's not greasy and then it's soft, it's light. You have to put into consideration those tiny bits. So you can go all the way to buy emulsifiers like Vegetal, Montanov, Olivem. It depends with you what you want to start with. However, for a beginner, I'll advise you to start simple. Start with Ewax and Cetyaril and then see how they work for you before you go all the way to abroad. Then we have thickeners. This is where we have gums. Thickeners, we have xanthan gum, we have guar gum, we have solar gum. So whatever makes you comfortable and whatever is available in your country, anza na hiyo. Because ni gum too. At the end of the day, if you are just starting as a beginner and this is for you, for your family, for your friends, gum ni gum. But if you're going to go commercial, you might need a gum that's a little bit soft. So I'll advise you to go with xanthan soft. That's better for you. The next category of where we're going to use to get our products is active botanical. Active botanical is very important. Reason being, when you have your products, let's say you want to reap the benefits of whatever products you want to make, and you want to make, let's say, a body oil or a facial oil, and you truly want the benefits of herbs, active botanicals is your best bet. So this one is like 1 to 2% only of your ingredients. So this consists of dried herbs. Have you ever seen, like even as we have those products, whereby we sell body oils and then inside we have calendula leaves, or even our hair serum, it has rosemary in it. That is the function of active botanicals. We have water extracts and oil extracts in active botanicals. This is the prime of functionality. I'll give you an example. For instance, you're making an exfoliant, that is any product that exfoliates, and you don't want to use any physical exfoliation. Let's say you don't want to use sugars, because as much as sugar function, their functionality is very limited. So you want to advance your formulation. So basically, you'll go to get chemical exfoliations. And when I say chemical, it doesn't mean it's bad. It can be just, it's not physical exfoliation, but it's still an organic product. So you'll use a product. Let me give an example of fruit mix. This is an AHA. So if you have seen your label called AHA, it's basically a chemical exfoliant. So AHAs, when you buy them, they are either water soluble or oil soluble. So if your product is fully oil and you want to put AHA in it, you ensure that the ingredient you buy is written oil soluble by your manufacturer. If your product is an emulsion, that is, it has a water phase and an oil phase, then feel free to use water extracts. Reason being, water extracts are a bit cheaper than oil extracts. So that is also one thing you should consider when buying your ingredients. Don't forget that. So go to your manufacturer's page, check if something is oil soluble, if something is water soluble. That's the best way you can look at it. Then we have other types of active botanicals that we use. We use the powders, the aloe vera powder. Now this is the thing that's inanishtua sana na Africa. Like, we farm a lot of aloe vera. Like, aloe vera is everywhere. Like, most places you find aloe vera. Because I remember when we were in high school, like most of us in high school, we just used to peel aloe vera and apply it directly on our skin. Aloe vera works very well on skin. However, we don't, let me not say we don't. Probably someone does it somewhere. So if you extract aloe vera out there, or if you do powder, if you dry aloe vera and you create powder from it, kindly reach out to us. Reach out to us, because I don't understand why we have to import aloe vera powder all the way outside there, and it's very expensive. Aloe vera powder is one of the most expensive ingredients that you can find outside there, and yet aloe vera is everywhere. So the people who farm aloe vera, this is a challenge to you. How can we help each other? Aloe vera farmers, let us know. Because I understand in places like Laikipia here in Kenya, aloe vera is a lot. So probably one leader can look into it and assist us in that category. Then the next group of ingredients that you'll need is aromaceuticals. Now, the way Camray Natural is structured, we are a function-based company, is that our products are tailored for a particular function. So our niche is basically acne, hyperpigmentation, eczema, and anti-aging. So that is our niche. However, there are people who make luxurious products. In that, I don't want to use the words non-functioning, but this is just for the good feel. Like they still do the job, but they are very luxurious. So there are people who are into oil blends, like they blend oils, they are into fragrant oil, they are into vitu tu za kunukia vizuri. I don't know if you've made a lot of brands, but I've tested a lot of brands from my friends who are into the luxurious kind of line, whereby you make your creams and they smell nice, use a lot of fragrance, a lot of essential oil. That is aromaceuticals. So you also need aromaceuticals in ingredients. Those are your essential oil. Start with pure essential oils. Don't buy essential oil blends. Reason being, after starting your formulation as a beginner, you want also to troubleshoot your formula. In that, let's say you have created a formula and then it starts irritating your skin, because this is where irritation starts from, the aromaceuticals and the actives. So when your skin starts itching or it has a little bit of irritation, and you have just one type of essential oil, it's easy for you now to eliminate and say, wakati nilitumia tea tree, hapo ndo nilianza kujikuna, or wakati nilitumia peppermint, there is where my problem started. So it's easy for you to point out one thing, because your base, your foundation ingredients, they hardly react with you. Or that is your water, your distilled water, there you won't have a problem. But when it comes to your aromaceuticals and your actives, now you need to maintain one at a time. So if you're starting with your essential oils, try and buy pure essential oils. Don't buy blended essential oils. There are people who have already blended the fragrance to give you that good, nice scent. But just buy, if it's tea tree, start with your tea tree. Peppermint, start with your peppermint. If it's bergamot, start with that. Lavender, keep it one, so that it's easy for you to troubleshoot as you advance. Then you have the additives. Additives, these are just the additions. They're very important. It's just 1 to 10% of your ingredients. 1% may look very little, but it is what can make your ingredients, it's what makes a difference in your product. These are preservatives. Let's say you have made all these ingredients, you have mixed everything, they are luxurious, but if you don't preserve it, it will have mold. So at the end of the day, everything will be bad. So these are preservatives. Choose a type of preservatives that works in a wider range. Preservatives have spectrum. So when you go to your supplier, ask them, this preservative preserved from which pH to which pH, get that spectrum. For people who are green, like for us, for organic formulators, we use preservatives that have a shorter shelf life because they are organic preservatives. So this is where we have liquid Jamo Plus, we have preservative 12, we have yogurt. So choose what works for you. But then for locally available preservatives, we have potassium sorbate, sodium benzoate. Then we have phenoxyethanol for longer shelf life. Then we have colors also in this additives range. So if you're a mica fan, if you love colors, this is where it works. Buy your colors. Choose simple colors for you to buy. Start small, like I said. Don't go overboard. Then for those who love natural colors, we have ingredients that are still functioning and they have colors. Like one of my clients that I formulate for, I'll just mention the clients, is Doxa. We use dragon fruit. It's a reddish, maroonish kind of ingredient. And then you still get the color, in your formula, but then you have used a natural ingredient. Dragon fruit is one of the most expensive fruits out there. So if you use such an extract, it's a very expensive extract, and it has a very rich color. So if you want your products to have color also, you can buy such natural colors. You can buy like the ginseng powders, you can buy the colloidal oats, the powders. So then there are so many colors also there. If you want turmeric also has its own color. So if you want that orange-ish kind of color, feel free to use turmeric. You still attack the brightening side, and you still have the luxurious color that you need. Then you have vitamins. Vitamins are very important. Let's start with the common vitamin, that is the vitamin C. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. So if you're making all oil-based ingredients, you'll still need an antioxidant so that your oil does not go rancid. So buy vitamin E. When it comes to vitamin E, you have an option of buying the organic vitamin E, or you buy the vitamin E acetate. Now, they both function well. They both work very well, but now, like I said, I'll give you everything. So what works for you, use that. Then you have vitamin A, you have also vitamin C for people who want to clear spots. However, I'll give you a disclaimer. Vitamin C can be unstable. That's the right term. You truly need to know how to use vitamin C. So for a beginner, I'll probably advise you to get your vitamin C from simple extracts first. Simple extracts like we have grapeseed has a little bit of vitamin C. We have jujube. I'll share with you the link to the fruits, though it's not locally available. So we have jujube. So that is what I'll advise you to start from. I don't know how they call it. Not jojoba. It's an Asian fruit. So probably I'll advise you to start with that one as vitamin C, jujube extract. I'll share with you a link. So it's a type of vitamin C. Actually, it has 20 times potent vitamin C than any other vitamin C. However, it's a bit stable. I still use it for a client I formulate for. It's a very stable form of vitamin C. So if your niche is going to be, if you truly want to make products for yourself using vitamin C, I'll ask you to go for fruit-based vitamin C. Reason being, when you buy the elastogenic ones, if you are not a professional formulator, it will spoil very fast. Vitamin C can be very unstable if you don't know how to use it well. That's just a disclaimer. I have to leave it outside there. Then we have vitamin B. Vitamin B is what is commonly referred to as niacinamide. So simply just get your niacinamide. Get one thing. Don't start with a whole list of actives. I know you'll be excited, like, let me get vitamin C, let me get vitamin B, let me get vitamin K. No, just start slowly. Just start with one. Start with niacinamide. Try with it, use it because it still has brightening properties. It's still very good on your skin. It helps to make your skin barrier. So start with something small, then graduate from there. Lastly, you will also need your pH adjusters. So it's important that when you make a formulation, you should be able to adjust your pH in accordance to the functionality of your products and also to the skin natural pH. The skin natural pH is around 5.5. When if you can balance anything between 5 to 5.5, you're good enough. However, let's say you're making anti-aging products. Those are products that will require a higher pH. So your pH will go all the way to around 6. So probably you'll need an alkaline so that you can balance your pH towards the alkaline side. So, and if you're making acne products, someone who has severe acne, your pH means it has to go a bit low. So it can go all the way up to 4.5, up to even if you're making feminine products, you need lower pH because of the environment. So that means you need something that can lower your pH. That is a citric acid. So you need to get citric acid for this. You need to get L-arginine for this. So if you can get them in very small quantities, your L-arginine and your citric acid, then that will be very good. So I know most suppliers, they sell them in bulk. Like you can find someone selling you citric acid, let's say a whole kg. I'll advise just buy a little bit of citric acid, and then citric acid is citric acid. So if you just get it from anywhere, be it supermarkets, anywhere, just a small quantity, the better. Even L-arginine, try and get as low quantity as possible so that you are able to manage them and so that they don't spoil. All these ingredients, actually, I've given you a list of all these ingredients in all these categories. One thing that I'll really emphasize is their shelf life. I forgot to mention them when I was mentioning each category. The shelf life of an ingredient matters. For instance, how do you know the shelf life of ingredients? If you buy, let's say, jojoba, and they have told you expiry date is December 2026, it means that that ingredient by that time it has already expired, so you can't use it anymore. So that's why I keep insisting on buying very small quantities, because you're starting out and you don't know when they will run out. So you need to just keep it simple. And if you're mixing several ingredients, like if you're mixing 4 or 5, and one has a shelf life of 2 years, one has a shelf life of 6 months, the entire product now has a shelf life of 6 months. The ingredient with the least shelf life become the expiry date of the entire product. So you have to keep that in mind also when you're buying your ingredients. So ask your suppliers the shelf life. And then one more thing that's really important, if you're someone who wants vegan products, if you're someone who wants eco-certified products, remember to ask your suppliers. If they have the certification, they'll show you. Like I buy in bulk. I'll buy most of my items in bulk, so I get those certification. So if you come to buy from me and you don't know whether your product is oil soluble, is it water soluble, what's the usage range for you to use that ingredient, you simply ask for the document, ask for the MSDS, ask for the certificate of analysis. Feel free to ask for those documents from your suppliers. So then, lastly, these are the ingredient categories every formulator should understand before starting to formulate. So in the next video, we are going to go through each category. So the first category that we'll probably start with is body oils and facial oils, because this is the one area that it's so easy for you to make for yourself in the house. Like I said, we sell targeted products here at Camray Naturals. So our category range of body oils is even on body oils and even for the face. So they all attack brightening, they all do acne clearing. So, but if you want to make your own body oil at home, feel free to join us in our next video. So for this video, I hope you go through each category, buy at least two, start small, keep it simple. Buy at least 2 ingredients, then let's meet in our next Camray Formulation Academy session. So thank you for staying tuned up to this moment, and I hope to see you more as we start formulating.